I'm just going to put the intro. We're back. I like this hook. You got a book you want to tell us about? Well, let's talk. There's no other place to do it. Only on Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. All right, so we're experiencing some technical difficulties. So welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast. I am your host, Sam the Crazy Man Vera. We are live on Facebook, and right now we're just waiting for George the Dreamer Medina to show up on our show, so we can get this crack-a-lacking. This is our main screen. Once that happens, I can get him on here. So we have our special guest, Nino Mesarina, with his shades on. Look at him, chilling.
What's happening, yos?
What's going on, Nino? How you been?
Well, I've been doing, keeping busy. Trying to prevent myself from getting sick from this virus, because we got to get back to all these cons, man. Cons and shows and signings and all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I know, buddy. I know. So it's been a while. And I found some pictures, and I will fix this in a second, but I found some pictures of us, well, you and George, at the first time we met at the New York Spectacular, and you had George in a chokehold.
I didn't have a choke. The laundry detergent.
The laundry detergent man had him in a chokehold. Yes.
I did send him the choke, George.
Yes. So we're just waiting for Georgie to respond to my invite, and we'll go on it. But we are currently on Facebook Live, and I can't get George to respond just yet. But we have Mo on who joined. Thank you, Mo, for joining. We got Nino on.
Hello, Mo. How are you, Mo?
Yes.
Long time no Mo.
It's Mo Nasser, or Nasser. And I'm just
one of the original artists in the in my 209 Avenue studio stable. Very, very good artist. Haven't seen him in a while.
All right, mute. Let me see. The meeting is stop video. Let's see.
Maybe George has to contact you.
Yes.
So you can, because this is a Zoom thing. I never used. This is the first time I'm using Zoom, and I heard that other people can join into the meeting.
Default email. J. All right. So this is what happens when we're using a different technology. Because it's the most thing because you kept hiding. So basically, just for anybody listening, we switched over from FaceTime, Skype, and House Party to now Zoom. And because we're on Zoom now, I'm just waiting for George to join. I sent him the invite multiple times.
Right, because I didn't have FaceTime because I'm still using Android, so that was the problem there.
Yeah.
But I want to, while I can, say hi to everybody. Hello to everybody that's watching, everybody that's commenting, or all my friends, fans, family. And also a shout out in Spanish para todos mis amistades, amigos del mundo que están mirando. Les mando un saludo y un beso y un abrazo fuerte.
Oh, he might
like
it. George doesn't see us on the fan live, so I don't understand what that is. Why can't he? We were going fine. Raise hand. So what did you just say in Spanish?
Well, I just said hello to all my family, friends, fans all over the world. Nice warm hug for everybody. And I did spread the word to Catch the Craze Podcast. So everybody like and subscribe also.
Oh, really? Speaker view, mute, share, start share. So we have some technical issues until we get George on. I don't know why he's having challenges getting on. I sent him 5 invites. What he has to do is use the email that I sent them. Hello, Patricia Mesarina. So
Is it my mother or my sister?
It-
Either way.
It's El Mesarina. It says, "Hi, Nino. I'm your biggest fan." And George just joined. Hey, George, can you just join us in this conversation? So while we're waiting for George, I sent him the invite. I don't know how this goes, but it's been a minute. It's been a while. And while we do that, let me hide this. Okay, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Boom. Bum. So, how you been?
Well, I've been here hiding out in Chicago. I was doing a bunch of shows here and there. I try not to do the same shows, so I travel from state to state. I do big shows, small shows, any shows that I can get into,
Right.
where no one has gotten my books or my artwork. So those are kind of events I try to get to.
Right. Yes, and you got Maria just joined and says hola.
What was that?
Maria del Carmen just joined and says hola.
Oh, Menchu, te mando saludos. Menchu, she's from Spain,
Oh, wow.
from Madrid, de Madrid.
Oh, wow.
Spain.
Nice.
Madrileña. So, saludos. So, yeah, people in Spain are watching Catch the Craze.
She's currently in Spain?
She lives in Spain. She's from Madrid.
That is beautiful. We just went international. We crossed borders. Awesome. Outstanding.
Well, that's what you got to do, right?
Thank you, Maria. So, so how you been? It's been a long time. I think that I left the industry for a long time, and you kept on with it. What has happened with the Unbelievable Laundry Detergent Man since the last time we've seen each other?
Well, I had originally come out with a publisher in Chicago, but I got away from that label.
Right.
Oh, here we go. George is coming in.
Is he?
George, are you there, Mr. George?
You see him? Ah, okay. Georgie, welcome. Mr. Medina.
Yeah, I can't see him, but if you see him,
I see him with his glasses on.
Let me in.
Let me in. Welcome. Yo, you got me scared. It's like never leave a man behind. And I'm like, yo, where'd he go?
I get a bathroom break. That's what it was, right, George?
I had to keep, this is part of what happens when you go live. You're doing it in real time and you got to go with the flow. And so now we also have a Veriman mom that just joined as well.
She's from Minneapolis, I think. So
wow. So we have Spain, Minneapolis, Chicago. Wow. And where's Mo from?
Mo's from Chicago.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Still living in Chicago. I haven't seen him in a long time. I know he works in Chicago.
So basically you were saying about what's been happening with you since.
Oh yeah, I moved out from the original label I was at, Instant Press Comics, and I went with Space Coast Comixx out of Melbourne, Florida, from publisher Jake Estrada. I'm sure you are familiar with Jake. He does a little bit of everything. And I went over to Space Coast Comixx.
Oh, wow.
So that's where he said, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll publish your stories and I'll put them in full color and they'll be all over. And this is what the Laundry Detergent Man started coming out looking like in full color.
Nice. That's right, because it was in black and white before, right?
But originally when I started it was like this. Everything was black and white.
Yes.
Yeah. Because, when you self-publish, you go for the most economical thing you can afford. Because back then, there was no Kickstarter. There was no GoFundMe or anything. Everything was out of your own pocket. I'm sure you know that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I guess Roberto is in Peru. That's what Maria said. Patricia said, yes.
From Peru.
Yes.
Now you got Peru watching Catch the Craze.
There you go. We're all over the place. We're international, George.
There you go.
We're international.
You got the right guest this time.
There you go. It's like the Latin connection. So so you went over with them, and then what has that benefited you? What was the difference?
It did because in between when I left Instant Press Comics, the original publisher of the Laundry Detergent Man, in between that time and Space Coast Comixx, I got all these little jobs working for newspapers.
Right.
You know, drawing my own comic strip or now I'm doing editorial political cartoons for newspapers and stuff. So that helped me out too, you know, and I got a couple of more gigs because of those contacts. And,
right.
you know, it's really helped me. I'm not really like well, I don't know if you want to say not, but I'm not world famous like you would say somebody like Alex Ross or you know, who's the creators of the Ninja Turtles. But, you know, I'm still going slowly. I'm still in it, you know. So I'm still in it, doing what I can. We're going to be coming out with a brand new issue #1 out of Space Coast Comixx in full color. It's going to continue. In full color.
Nice.
How many issues did you do in black and white? Yeah.
Black and white, let's see. I had
You did a few, man.
Yeah, I did. I had the first appearance, issues 1 through 4, then 4 issues. So in black and white, I had about 6 issues.
Yeah.
Black and white. And then they've been coming out in different little stories from Space Coast Comixx. Also, maybe 7 small stories in 7 different Space Coast Comixx. I also had a program guide from 2015, Space Coast Comixx, that was sold at Space Coast Comic Con. And if you could find me and Jake on the cover there somewhere.
That's awesome.
But yeah, these are basically like samples up here of most of the stuff that I have, you know, printed up already.
Yeah.
And I'm coming to you live from my son's room, by the way.
Are you?
As you can see all his cool stuff around here.
That's awesome, dude. I like the Chicago flag in the back.
Oh, yeah, man. My son actually put that up there. He said, you know what, Pop? You got to have it up there if you're going to be representing Chicago. So I say, well, what more do you want? I got my hat on. I know all you New Yorkers, all you Yankee fans know what's going on with the Sox, man, because it's a rivalry, you know, but that's cool, you know. I see your Jets hats on, so you represent New York. And,
say, I sport the New York Caps, but I'm really just a big UFC fan. For me, that's the only sport I watch.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. To each his own, I guess, right?
Yeah. Everybody has their preference, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, how long have we known you? You know, we met you years ago, bro. Like, when
I met you guys. I met you guys almost 20 years ago, almost.
Right?
It was,
yeah, that's supposed to be a secret.
Because when did you release your first issue of Laundry Detergent?
The first one came out in 2002, and then when I had the first issue, I went to New York.
Yes.
That's where I met you guys.
Yeah.
And that's where Laundry Detergent Man got you in a chokehold.
Yeah, George, did you see that picture?
No, I didn't see the picture.
It's on the promo on the Facebook page. I found the picture of him yoking you. Oh, the Laundry Detergent Man putting you in a chokehold.
I'm watching you, man. Better watch out, George.
So I had nightmares about that mask, bro.
Yeah, that mask. Well, you know what happened? I had the costume got put away because I moved from places, so I'm in a different place now.
Okay.
And I had, you know, the costume was on a mannequin, but there was just no more space in my new place for the mannequins. So I got rid of the mannequin and boxed up the costume, and the head stays out all the time. I do all kinds of stuff with it. I take pictures of it, put it in the background, or you know, just have it out there in the living room or whatever. People are like, "What the hell is that?" You know.
Yeah.
So the last time you actually wore it, like to a show.
Yeah. That's how we met. You were in costume.
When was the last time? When did you last wear it?
Oh.
When did I last wear it? Whew, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
At a show, I mean, you know, in the house, I'll play around with my son. My on the head, right?
Yeah.
It's like wearing basketball, man. You know, it's all rubber. And it gets hot after a while, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I had the mannequin, so I could just put the mannequin at the table and I wouldn't have to wear it.
Nice. Yeah, so Mo was saying that his favorite issue was the one with the local artist in it.
Yeah, Mo was one of the artists.
That's why he said it, self-representation.
This one up here.
Ah.
This is the activity guide. And I had actually, I was doing the other stuff, and I said, I still want to get an issue up. So I had an idea where I said, I'll just go ahead and get these different artists up here, and Mo, he's up here. Mo was one of the artists, and I said, yeah, I'll just write out the stories, and I'll pay these artists, and they can keep the pages. And this is what he's talking about. So thanks a lot, Mo, for reminding me. I did have it up there. If I could find Mo's story in here, because we did that one, and it was from ages 1 to 100, so everybody can read it.
Nice.
And he drew this one.
Oh, nice. And you have a Manuela Barber joined as well. It says, can't wait for the new issue to come out. She likes to scare your wife with your mask.
That's my cousin.
And Patricia says, is there a dirty laundry costume? Yes, there is.
Yeah, there is. All my clothes is dirty laundry.
So, have you been consistent with the cons? Did you taper off going to shows?
No, I did. I was going out of town shows because when I first started, I was doing a lot of Chicago shows and a lot of Illinois shows. But I said, I can't be doing the same shows every month, every year. I want to branch out. I want to go to different places. That's how I ended up in New York. I went to Boston. Then I went to Michigan. I've been to Ohio. I've been like almost everywhere that I can get to. A lot of times I'll help out vendors. Vendors will go to these different shows and they need help sometimes with the table, and they'll tell me, if you help me out, I can give you a space at my little vendor space.
Right.
Maybe the artist in my little vendor booth or whatever. So I took advantage of that. Like my friend Walt and Corrine, they have a store in Indiana, Happy Day Comics. And, once they opened up their store, they had me and my son in there as the featured artist, as guests. So that was pretty cool. That's what I do. Try to keep busy.
And for the people, I guess, who, like, we've known you for a long time, but for the people who don't know, tell us how you came up with the Laundry Detergent Man. How did that concept come up?
Yes, please.
All right. I have a friend named Ramirez, and I've known him since he was like 12 or 13. And I was kind of broke, and I didn't have money for his birthday present. So I said, he's a big Spider-Man fan. So I was thinking to myself, I'm going to make him a spoof comic of Spider-Man.
Nice.
So I was going to go to he works at a supermarket here in Chicago, at the Jewel supermarket, whatever. So I was going to see him to ask him what he wanted for his birthday. And in the parking lot, they had a big car wash sign. And some guy was driving his car, and he was full of soap. So it just like hit me. I was like, wow. I ran back home, and I started drawing some pages of the character, just make him up. And I liked it so much, he never got his birthday present. I just started making my own comics.
That's awesome.
These are the original sketch ideas.
That is awesome.
And I was adding this, eliminating that, and like I kept these, because and I had written out an entire story.
Wow.
But I never used it. Once I started drawing it, I didn't even use any of the story. I made it all up, totally different from what I had written out. And later on,
did you feature any of that in your books, the original stuff?
None of the stuff that I wrote ended up in any of the original books.
No, but I'm saying like in the back of your book, like did you like highlight the original art and the original script, how it was conceptualized at all?
Oh, no. I never mentioned any of that in any of my books. I have mentioned it in a bunch of websites that I would like leave comments at. I think I mentioned it there's a Laundry Detergent Man group, the Unbelievable Laundry Detergent Man group. It's on Facebook. You can just look up the title. It's on there. And this was the first issue. Right here was the first issue.
Yeah, I still have my copy.
Cool.
Me too.
Worth $1 billion. Back, he was just a nerd, because that's basically all comic book fans. Well, not myself, basically. We were all nerds, right? But that's how the stuff happened, You start thinking about, man, that's a crazy way I made that, because some people are like, what was Stan Lee's story all the time? He would say, I saw a bug crawling on the wall. Personally, I don't believe that, but that's what he would say, right? I saw a bug crawling on the wall, and I said, man, that would be neat, right? I saw a guy and a car wash sign full of soap. So I went home and made it. You know, I changed it because it was The Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
Instead of amazing, I made unbelievable. Instead of a spider, I made him laundry detergent. But that's how stuff happens.
But sometimes that's how the best ideas are formed. You know what I mean? It's usually there's some sort of source of inspiration that creates this spark, and then all of a sudden you're like off to the races with this new idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and then you make one thing, and once you get that thing done, you say to yourself, you know, I should do this too, and you start making something else.
Right.
Then somebody will read your book and come to you at a show. I read this, and you know what will be a cool idea, and they'll make suggestions to you, and you start thinking about that. And that's how I've been doing it. So I'm not a writer.
Right.
I'm not a writer, so I draw one panel, and then I think what I'm going to write. And once I'm finished with the whole page, and then I just make up whatever they're going to say in the word balloons.
So Barbara's asking, is there any chance her likeness will make it into one of your issues?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I want my sales to keep going.
And Patricia's saying her copy is in the classroom and her students check it out every year.
Well, that's the thing, too. My sister, she's a teacher, so she takes the stuff. And the funny thing was, when we were kids, I don't know if they still do it, but when we were kids, the teachers will tell you comic books were going to ruin your brain. It's never going to do any good for you. And now teachers are using it like a reading tool or whatever.
Yeah.
And since I had the guides that are this one, it's in black and white. It was basically like a coloring book. Some teachers did buy them and they used it like coloring book, preschool teachers and stuff. And I don't care. Because once I get paid, I don't care. You can do what you want.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what impressed me the most, Nino, when we first met you and you first came out with the book was where you were selling them. Like, so when other creators were selling their comic books in comic book shops, you were at the coffee shop down the street. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you know, when I started, everybody just wanted to wait for the comic shows, or they would go to the comic book stores and try to get a book signing. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a waste of time. I mean, it's good doing it, but I mean, in between a signing and waiting a couple of months or a whole year for a comic book show, that's a lot of time wasted. Yeah. So I started thinking, you know, there's people that go to the coffee shops and they read their books or their magazines or whatever, you know. So I said, you know, I can sell some books in there. So I started going to all the little mom and pop coffee shops, because someplace big like Starbucks wouldn't do it. But
right.
Small little corner mom and pop coffee shops, they said, sure, come on in. And they would announce it. And I'd show up at this coffee shop and then that coffee shop. And then I started thinking, I'm not just going to do coffee shops. There's toy stores around. So I would ask the toy store guy. And my thing was, let me sign in your store. I'll advertise it, put flyers all over, announce it, and I'll bring you foot traffic. Mm-hmm. I'll tell them to buy whatever coffee or toys or whatever's in your store. You don't have to pay me. I just keep whatever I sell. And they're like, yeah, cool. They're like, okay, do that. You know, once I said that they didn't have to pay me, they were like, cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that you were going to advertise and get foot traffic in there. I'm sure they were like, yeah, go.
And I would make a flyer, and then I would go to work and I'd run off about 100 or 200 copies. Yeah. Because I work nights, and so nobody was there. So I'd run off the copies, and then I'd go around town and put them up on the light poles or doors or wherever, bus stops or whatever.
Yeah, you probably don't realize this, but you were a big influence in me forming my strategy, because when we met and I seen that costume, and then when we got to talking and I was hearing about how you were hustling, it made me say, yo, we have to do some things a little differently. Why don't we do this? And we were like taking it to the next level. I remember when George and I were talking about how we're going to raise our game. A lot of influences came from the guys that we seen out in the field, and you were one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thank you very much. I mean, you're not the first person to tell me that. I mean, like my current publisher, Jake Estrada, he tells everybody, you know, everybody's like, whoa, where he's at now in Florida, everybody's like, oh, wow, that's Jake. He's like a living legend. He does comic books. He's got his own movie. He put me in his movie, a cameo. But he'll tell everybody, that's why he has me as a judge, because he tells everybody this guy was my mentor. Got a lot of advice from him, and I was like, wow, I feel real humble about it, because I was just trying to make sales. I had a wife and a kid, and I was like, man, how can I make these sales? So I wasn't doing this thinking, man, I'm gonna do this and inspire everybody. I was like, man, I'm gonna do this and get some money and pay this light bill.
Right.
I'm gonna do this, get some money and pay for my son's, diapers or whatever. So that's why I was doing it. But as the years go by, people like you and Jake and even some other people send me emails sometimes telling me that, and I feel kind of like embarrassed about it. I'm like, wow, it's like somebody will be like, hey, Sam, I see you all the time lifting weights. And I'm like, man, you inspire me to lift weights too,
Right.
You didn't do that. You didn't do that to like, hey, man, I'm going to do this to inspire everybody, You're doing it for your own reasons, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I appreciate what you say, It makes me feel good, because I do remember you asked, who made you mask? And you were asking, who made you mask? And how did you get on that show? And how did you get these interviews and stuff?
Yes.
So I didn't care. It was no secret. I would just tell everybody how I got on shows or interviews or whatever.
But that's the same philosophy I have, and it's whenever someone asks, I'm willing to share, because you're gonna find out anyway on your own. Why not find out from somebody who's actually tried it, might have had some successful failures from it, and maybe have some life lessons that they can help you with. So I'm always willing to share that information, and whenever I've seen somebody, and George knows me because I'm very protective and suspicious of people. George is the social guy, and I've always been the guy that's very conscious about who's around me. And whenever I deep dive into somebody, it's because I see the potential on what that person is doing. I'm like, whoa, I need to tap on to what they're doing, because they have their finger on the pulse. And at that time when we met, I was like, this guy's really hustling, and I really appreciated that hustle.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for those kind words. I don't know what else to say. I was just trying to make sales, but I didn't know I was going to be inspiring people to do hey, man, that guy's doing it. Let me do it too,
Yeah, you actually got yourself into restaurants too, right?
I got myself into restaurants, coffee shops, toy stores. What else did I got into public libraries. Now they got library shows, but I was going to libraries. I even went to they had some kind of, I work at the Illinois Medical District for the University of Illinois at Chicago. And every year they would have some kind of thing for the doctors and nurses to come in and get donuts and samples of these and that, whatever. And I knew the lady in charge, and she knew I'd made books. She said, would you like to come here? I said, sure. So I was in a hospital, some kind of hospital lobby thing, whatever. I was the only guy there. And another thing, when I would think about getting into coffee shops and restaurants and all these kind of things, I said to myself, I'm going to have guaranteed sales, because I'm the only comic book guy in here selling.
Yeah,
so I'm going to sell everything.
Yeah.
But now they do these things, and now I'm not saying I invented it, but I see other people doing these things like I used to do. And now they got 3 or 4 people in there. So it's kind of like a little comic book show inside a library, a little comic book show inside a coffee shop. But when I was doing it, it was only me. Mm-hmm. I had to go set it up, and then I had to go promote it, and then I sold my own stuff.
Yeah. So Adele Brito just joined, and she said, hello, guys. She was also a former guest on our show. She's also a writer, editor, and teacher. So she's also joining and listening in as well. So yeah, that's fascinating. So so now that you're with Jake Estrada's company, what are your goals?
Well, first thing I got to do is take over his company. No, we have plans. Like I said, I'm one of the judges in the Indie Originals contest. Is going to have cash prizes, and I'm going to be mentoring a mentor to a bunch of new people. This is for artists and writers, and it's even for singers and actors and all kinds of stuff. Independence, between me as a judge, as one of the judges, and Jake Estrada and his partner Chuck Fresh, and I can't remember all the names off the top of my head, but that's one thing that I'm doing for for them, Space Coast Comixx. We're going to start up with the comic book division again.
Right.
He's going to have a whole bunch of different books. What else? We're going to start over again with the Laundry Detergent Man, continuing, but it's going to be all in full color. It's going to be professionally printed. It's none of this Kickstarter type stuff. It's actual printers with high quality paper, glossy paper, and a lot of other things besides that, because he also makes movies based on his books, because this was the last one that he made.
Right, Bocas, yes.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember I first met him when he first started doing Bocas, and he put me in his book. So when he made his movie, he put me in there as a cameo too. So and he's got DVDs now and there, so I'm on the Blu-ray. I have a cameo, and I'm like, wow, I can't imagine, you meet somebody and then like 15, 20 years later, all of a sudden he's making movies and DVDs, Blu-rays, and you're in it.
That's pretty dope. Yes.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, Deli says she loved your ideas about going out there and getting to events and cafes, because readers are everywhere. And Mo was saying that Jake is in trouble, considering you were after his company.
I got to do it before Mo does it.
There you go.
Hey, Nino, so you were talking about the shows that you've done outside of Chicago, and outside of the shows outside of Chicago, which one has been your favorite show, your favorite convention?
I did one, Rapid City. I can't remember. Was it called Rapid City Con? I can't remember. A vendor took me. He was my friend Walt Day, one of the owners of Happy Day Comics.
Right.
He asked me to help him, and he said, "This is a great show. We can go over there. There's a lot of sales." I never been there, and I said, "Sure, okay, I'll go. I'll do it." And I did. I sold a lot of stuff, a lot of artwork, a lot of books, a lot of commissions. I met the VP of some kind of show or something, so he commissioned me to make a whole bunch of sketch cards.
Nice.
Unfortunately, it wasn't so good for Walt. His sales weren't really where they were supposed to be, but the show was a really good show. I think that would be one. And then I did also a show in Boston. I can't remember the name of the convention, but I did it in Boston. And wow, I sold 30 books in 30 minutes. Wow. I took all my stuff in a suitcase, and I came home with an empty suitcase. They bought everything. They bought the books. I had T-shirts. I had
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, it wasn't even in Boston. It was someplace outside of Boston.
Yeah.
I had to go through the Fleet Center, where the Celtics play and everything. And I was like, I never been to Boston, right? How am I supposed to get to this place,
Wow.
I finally got to the place, and it was in the middle of no place. It was in Chelmsford, Massachusetts. And I was like, what the heck? Where is this? It was like in the middle of the forest. It was just a hotel, a restaurant, and a post office, and that's it.
Wow.
And everything was all like Blair Witch Project all the way around. I was like, what is this, right? And so when I got inside, the whole town came out. There was like 300 or 400 people in that little hotel.
Wow.
And they bought everything. They were like, how much is this? I want this and that. That was probably the best one. Then I did New York. I did New York with you guys. I went to Florida. I did the Space Coast Comixx. That was pretty good. And besides that, I just come and go to different little states, little shows here and there. I don't know. Maybe the best one is still yet to be out there. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have any? I mean, obviously with the pandemic, we can't go anywhere. But did you have anything like lined up before this whole thing went down?
I was gonna look into some stuff, but then, like you said, this thing hit. So I was like, well, what the heck? I'll just wait around because something always shows up anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm already planning when they open up. Once everybody opens up, you guys know me. I'm not going to just wait for the shows. I'm going to start hitting all the cafes and restaurants.
Right.
Opening up, right? So
nice.
Probably what I'll be doing.
Good.
That's pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
Did you have any plans this year before this whole social distancing and lockdown went into effect as far as events?
Events? No, just like I said, I was going to wait for something to pop up. Since I started helping that vendor, Walter Day, some other vendors have been interested in using me the same kind of way, like helping them load and unload, and they'll give me a space. And that's pretty good for me because I was like, well, that way I won't have to pay for any table space. I still get a badge, and I'm selling at the show. Yeah. And I'm the only guy in the vendor area because the artist alley has become so competitive.
Yeah.
There's so many artists there, but I'm the only guy in the vendor area, you know? So I made a lot of sales that way. So I'll see, you know, I'm doing prints now. They're not like super high quality prints, but I do make prints and I do sell them. I noticed that a lot of people like classic TV shows, so I make pinups of like classic TV shows. Yeah, I do make pinups of like you know, Avengers, Justice League, or whatever.
Right.
You know what I do? I hide my own character in the pinup. So I'll draw like all the Avengers, right? And then I'll have the laundry detergent man in the corner. Everybody sees the Avengers. Oh wow, and they buy it. Then they're like, "Who's that guy?"
This guy.
Everybody needs to. Even superheroes need to have their laundry done.
Hey, they buy it anyway. They buy it anyway because it has the Hulk, the Avengers, everybody, and they're like, oh, they just buy it. Sometimes they don't even ask because they think it's some character in the Avengers or the Justice League. You have to look up who that character is.
Right.
And it's funny because, you know, I tell people, yeah, I sold it. I got my. I sold one with Captain America, Iron Man, and the laundry detergent man. It was like 3 of them in a pinup or something. They bought it. You know, they never even asked who's that guy, right?
Wow.
They must have thought he was an Avenger, you know. Maybe if I get a cease and desist from Marvel, you know, they're like, yeah, I made it, right?
Yeah, I think Mo and Patricia said that that's a smart idea, adding your character in the background.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. How many issues are you in now in the new the colored version of the?
Well, at the original run that was in black and white, there was 7 different issues.
Right.
The color ones, I think I lost count because it's not a whole entire issue. It's like a 4 or 5 page story in each one of these little things.
Gotcha.
So I think it's like 5 or 6 of them that I did.
Okay.
I got commissioned to make. Jake Estrada contacted me and he said there's a bar or a nightclub or something out there, and they wanted a commission their own. They commissioned their own comic book for their bar, so they sent me all these pictures, and I drew up a special one-shot issue for that bar. What was it called? On the Rocks, I think was the name of the bar or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I did that. That was a whole bunch of stuff I'm included in that issue, and then I've got a whole bunch of different. Like I said, you know, we made the program for the Space Coast Comixx. They had me draw the original first appearance of the Laundry Detergent Man in Space Coast Comixx. You know, like I said, it was all in full color, so I was like, hey, that's pretty cool, you know. And those are things. And speaking of like the New York Spectacular where we met up, he actually took a picture of it. And there I am walking around because he was in New York too.
Oh yeah.
He was there, so he took a picture of that. And I'm trying to get back to New York, but the thing is that they, man, those prices are crazy for the tables, you know.
It's
crazy.
Ridiculous. It's crazy.
And for 4 feet, only a 4-foot table. That's crazy, you know.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's too much. So for me to get, I'll get like a whole, like a 6-foot table with a vendor, and it'll be, you know, free. All I gotta do is help the vendor. The vendor buys me lunch. If we're out of town, he'll put me in the hotel. Sometimes we'll share a hotel room. He's giving me the table space. So I'm like, yeah, cool. You know?
Yeah.
Gotta get this off the screen here for a second. Anyway, the table prices are just getting too crazy, man, you know? I don't know how you guys do it, because I know I've been trying to get to the New York Comic-Con, but when I checked out their info, I was like, this is crazy, man. If I had that kind of money, I wouldn't even be trying to sell comic books, man. I just keep it.
Yeah.
So Nino, any talk of Jake maybe possibly making your comic into a movie?
I don't know. I never even mentioned it to him. He hasn't said anything. Thank you for bringing it up. Maybe he's watching and he'll be like, oh, yeah, cool. Oh, snap. I don't know. Maybe one day. I know an artist here in Chicago. He went to the American Academy of Art. I want to say. I think that's the school Alex Ross went to. But anyway, he's got a contact and local TV, and they said they would run a 30-minute cartoon, like a digital cartoon. So he asked me for pictures of the masks, artwork, so that he was gonna like put it into like some kind of cartoon. So I've got to get back to him. I've been real bad about that.
Yeah.
His name is Greg Eagle. So who knows? Maybe it'll be a cartoon, maybe it'll be a movie, maybe it'll be a TV show. I don't know. I can dream too.
So Patricia's saying you should pitch to laundromats like Boboland, and Maria said something in Spanish, throw me off, and Adeli is saying good deal. Don't spend too much before you make it. And currently, I have on the screen the image of you, the Laundry Detergent Man, choking George over 10 years ago. Back at the New York Spectacular.
What did you do to him, George? I don't know what he did, you know.
I don't even know, dude. I was like, I thought we were cool. I thought we were cool.
That's what it was. You know, you went up to him, you were like, who is you, man?
Yeah, who is you? Yes.
Yeah, I did try to sell, believe it or not, to the soap company. I tried to get like sponsorship or something. So I told them who I was, and I sent them images of my books and email and everything. And I got replies back, but the replies were always telling me that they can sell me this many metric tons of soap and all this crap. Like, no, I don't want to buy soap. Books. And places like Bubble Land or whatever, the laundromats or whatever, they don't want that. Unless you're a vendor who puts in a bubble gum machine in their thing, they don't want to know anything about. People aren't there to buy books; they're there to watch. Oh,
so that's what it is. So Maria's saying, can you explain it in Spanish? Yeah, she wants you to explain it in Spanish. I it had to take me a minute to read it, and I had to do it slow because I needed hooked on phonics.
Let me say this directly to Maria. Well, she says everybody call her Menchu, so if you guys want to say hi, Menchu.
Yes.
Hi, Menchu.
Menchu, si estás mirando, estoy hablando sobre mis libros y estoy hablando sobre las ventas y le estoy explicando cómo hice las ventas de los libros y mis planes para el futuro. Saludos para Madrid, España. Un beso, un abrazo fuerte.
Nice. Beautiful.
All right, cool.
Couldn't say it any better myself.
Good.
Yeah. I was able to read it. Thank you, Adeli, for your help and support. She's always been there to help me and watch my back. I just needed to take some time before I sat down and looked at it. I was like, all right, while you're talking, I was going to read it. But
yeah, because I can't see the comments. I mean, I can see you guys, but I can't see what people are commenting and stuff.
Yeah, not a problem. I got your back.
Cool. So, I hope to get back to more shows. I hope to run into you guys again at any show in Chicago, New York, or wherever.
When they decide to allow us to be normal again.
Yeah, once everything's back to normal.
Does Wizard still do Chicago, Nino? Wizard World Chicago?
They do.
They're doing virtual con.
They still do it. I don't know anything about virtual con because I didn't even look into them because after a while I started getting upset about their crazy prices.
Yeah.
But I know the last time we were all there in Chicago when I met you guys had a bad experience next to the bathrooms.
Yeah, they put us in a bad spot. And some porn. And we had some we were in a bad spot.
Oh, yeah, I was like, what the heck? What you guys, man? It's like exit. You guys are sitting back there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys made any sales or what, but I felt real bad for you guys.
I don't remember either. I don't remember. I think it was more of we were brothers in arms, so we felt the pain together. So I don't even remember how we did.
I actually had a good time in Chicago, though.
Yeah, we had a good time.
We had a good time in Chicago.
Yeah.
The show.
Well, that's the thing too. It's not even in Chicago. It's like 2 hours away from the city.
Yes. You have to take a train.
It should actually be called Wizard World Rosemont, Illinois.
Yes.
But nobody's going to go to Rosemont, Illinois. They're going to go to the Chicago thing.
Yes.
Same thing with Boston. I thought I was going to be in Boston, and I had to take a train all the way out to another city. I was like, what the heck, But anyway, I hope we can do some shows again later. We can run into each other and stuff,
Yeah. I mean, I think this year threw us all off. It's like this was the breakout year, the get back into the game year, and I had all these plans, and then boom. But it was a curse and a blessing because at the same time it allowed us to produce more content, and really go back and work on our strategy and our marketing plan and work on growing this show. So, you look at everything and you find
you guys are doing good with your podcast. Me personally, I never got into podcasts. I don't have the equipment to do it anyway, and you guys, you do your thing, and you're getting a lot of viewers, and you get more people liking and subscribing to your YouTube channel, and then when they see you at a show now they're like, hey, you're the guy with that show, or hey, yo, I heard you last night or last week or whatever, and what you got on, you got new and stuff. So
there's the crazy man and the dreamer.
Yeah, you guys are doing dreamers make the world go round, man.
There you go, right?
Yes.
You gotta be a little crazy to dream big. There you go. I like that tagline. Yeah. So, end game, long term. Where would you like to be 5 years from now?
Wow. Every 5 years that goes by, I try to be a little bit more ahead of the game.
Right.
But lately, it's been turning out where I'm into my own game, and that's okay too. Because you get to do your own thing. You're not being a copy of this guy or biting off of those people. You're doing your own thing.
Right.
When I first started out, when I first ever got into it, I was with this kind of mentality. Oh man, I want to get rich and I want to get famous, and that was the whole thing. And then the years go by, and you get older, you get married, you have a kid, and you're like, man, I want to make these books so I can get some money to pay these bills, Mm-hmm. And a couple of more years go by, and now I'm like, man, I hope I get more gigs so I can keep this going, because this is a good little side job that I get extra income. It's nothing to retire off of.
Right.
Now, I hope, I'm going to keep dreaming, but it's keeping me going where it helps. Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
And after a while of doing this, you get a bigger and bigger following. And then when you start to put out the books, you don't have to struggle so much. You paid your dues. So you go show up at a show or whatever, like, hey, you're the guy. Oh, wow, I'll buy your books and stuff. So
right.
It gets easy. It's easier, but I look forward to everything. Just like all of us, we were all looking forward to merchandise, and we're looking forward to TV and movies and these kind of things, So that's what I'm looking forward to. So the only way to get there is to keep hustling.
Yeah. So Patricia says, "Great job. You all love Mom," and Mo said, "Great job. Congratulations on your success. He has to take off now."
I know. Thank you, Ma. I love you. Fortunately, I don't live close to my mother. She lives in Indiana, and that's like not in Chicago. I got to actually take a train to go see her.
Yeah.
Not a city train, but actually going out of Chicago train.
Yeah.
Right.
So when this is all over, I'll go see her again.
Yeah. So Adeli says, "Fulfilling dreams makes you happy." So.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, you gotta do what makes you happy. I have a regular 8-hour shift job, but I also do this because this is what I love, and I'd rather be doing this full time because I really love it. But
we hear you.
You gotta stick with it.
Yeah, exactly. I think I disappeared from the game for 10 years, and there was a void. There was like a void in my soul. Yeah.
It just keeps bringing you back. It does.
Yeah, and I'm happiest when I'm doing this.
Yeah, because and the people I meet along the way, I remember you with your alien duty, and I remember George and Russ.
Yes. Russ is still my favorite character.
Right. I never met Anibal in person, Anibal Arroyo.
Mm-hmm.
I know he draws a lot of good stuff, and I told him too, one of these days we might meet up, I keep in touch with him. That's the funny thing. I never met him, but I keep in touch with him all the time.
Yeah. Anibal's that guy. Anibal is such a likable character. He's that guy that just, when you meet him, that, you'll be lifelong friends. No matter what happens, wherever you go in life, that if you reach out, you're going to have a great conversation with him.
Yeah, he seems like a real nice guy, even though I never met him, because, like I said, we chat on Messenger. He comments on.
He lives on Facebook. He loves Facebook.
Yes, he's always on Facebook.
Well, I do too. I got everything. Yeah. I got Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, but that's how I keep in touch with him and stuff. I mean, I may not check up on everybody, but I am checking everybody's stuff out. I saw George and his Wonder Duck, seen you
Thank
and
you,
your
man.
movie, and then you had your children's book,
Yes.
story, right?
Yes.
And so all these different artists that I meet at cons, I don't keep in touch with every single one of them, but I do know the stuff that they're doing, and it's always good because when you go to conventions, you get to see the same people. Even if you go out of state or whatever, you might see the same person and be like, "Hey, how you doing? Let's get something after the show." Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of
the.
the first things that George and I decided to do is reconnect with everybody when we decided to bring the show back. It's just like, you know what, let's get all the cats that we met throughout the years, just to follow up and see what everyone's doing, because we're all in the same hustle, and I just think that we met a lot of good people throughout the years.
Yeah, that's a good idea because we're all doing the same thing, right? Yeah. And believe it or not, we're the old regime, man. We're the old school because every year you get new people coming in.
Yes.
Like I said, this the whole thing that's going on with Space Coast Comixx with the indie originals. Now they got me as a judge, and I'm going to be a mentor. Because they got somebody that doesn't know how to self-publish, somebody that doesn't know how to get into the comic book shows or how to make the sales and stuff. Somebody like myself, being their mentor, I'm going to tell them, look, you're doing it wrong. You can't just go out and force people to buy this. You can't be rude. You got to do these things a certain way.
Yeah.
You've got to publish it and print it this way. And then, all kinds of things like copyrights and all these things,
Right.
Because a lot of times they just want to say, oh, I draw real. Yeah, you draw real good. But then you have to sell it. And then you got to protect your property too. Because you might draw real good and somebody else will come by, copy your style, rip you off, and then they copyright your stuff, and you're out like Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster, Jack Kirby, all these guys that we heard about that got ripped off and stuff,
Yeah.
They don't want that stuff to happen to you either.
Right.
Absolutely. So, final words. What would you like the audience to take away from this? Where can they find you? Is there a page landing that they can go to learn more about your product and you?
Yeah, I want everybody that's been watching this, that's into comic books, that wants to get into comic books. Don't put away your dreams. You're gonna have to pay your dues. There's no shortcuts to the top. I've got all my books here. More are coming out. I've got the Unbelievable Laundry Detergent Man group on Facebook. You can look it up there, or you can look up 209 Avenue Studio Comics. It's also on the Facebook group. You can catch me at, I don't know, I can't tell you which shows because I'm always going to different ones, but if you see me, remember me, I'm the guy with the soap superhero. And I know the Catch the Craze guys, so just come up to me, and don't give up. Don't put your dream away. Make sure to look for www.indieoriginals.com. If you're a new indie in music, comic books, acting, whatever, look that up. There's cash prizes. You're going to get advice from mentors, so don't give it up, And then maybe you guys too will have a podcast show like Sam and George.
Yes. Awesome. But I was looking. What, George? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say thank you, man. I appreciate everything. You like Sam said, you've been there since day one.
Hey,
been an inspiration to us as far as like just hustling and the meaning of hustling. Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
I'll tip my cap to you two guys. I know you guys are still in the game. You're going to keep going on. And, rewards will be ours in the end, man. Like fine wine, you got to wait for wine to get good, right?
Yes. So I'm glad to be able to connect again. I'm happy that you're still in the game and doing your thing. I wish you a whole lot of success, buddy. Don't be a stranger. When we are able to be human again and socialize again, and hopefully we will definitely run into an event together, and then we can go and get a beer.
Yeah, or 10 or
12. 10 or 12. Or 10 or 12, yes. And we'll get we'll get ginger ale for George. There you go. But thank you again, and thank you everybody. Thank you for Maria. Thank you Patricia, Adele, and Mo and everybody else for watching. We appreciate your support. And if you haven't gone, go to youtube.com, Catch the Craze, and subscribe to our channel. We can't do this without you. We need your support. Thank you again, Nino. You are a gentleman and a champion of the indie world. And
Thank you very much.
much success to you, buddy.
And this show will re-air on our YouTube channel on Friday. So if you missed anything today, just catch it on Fridays.
Yeah, so if you just tagged in, you'll see it Friday, huh?
I want to say one last hello to me, watching me on YouTube on the rerun.
There you go. So your Cash Out show on Friday. We'll see you guys again Friday on YouTube. And it's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. I'm so crazy. You so crazy.
Acquiesce.
Crazy.
No, it's talking about my friend Acquise. I met him the other.
You so
Say my name, say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
You are listening.
He described me. He said, I'm the.
You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.